YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about streams of income. Now this video is a part 2 to my first video. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll link it up above. I got asked a question, hey Leah, can you do a video on how you afford trips, savings, credit card rewards, tips, and tricks? I answered that question in my first video in terms of how it takes a budget. It really takes having your expenses low and your debt low, but your savings high. Gotta get them savings up. And it's just about overall individuality when it comes to those types of things, because there are some people who are crushing it, making $50,000 a year and able to save, keep their debt low, and get those expenses low as well. But there are people who are at $170,000 a year, barely scraping it by, making it look like they got what they got, but really behind the scenes, they house poor, they ain't making the money that you think they're making, but they're flashing it around. So optics can make things look a different way, but something that is missing from that first video is you have to talk about income. You gotta have money coming in. Incoming income, not a word, but you gotta have dinero, gotta have coin, gotta have the bucks to be able to save. That is an over-glaring thing. You cannot talk about one without the other. I know I didn't address income in that first video because I needed a separate video for that, because streams definitely play a factor into what you're able to save for. Again, like I said in that video, my biggest buckets are my travel and my home. That's it. Those are my in my emergency fund, of course, but those are where I put my money. But I have to get money in to be able to put money and funnel them into those savings accounts. So I was really inspired by Living Fearless to make this video. She made this video very recently where she talked about her streams of income. She had gotten a question from our audience to do that, and I had gotten this question and I answered the question, but I said, you know what, I don't know if I can make a video on how I'm budgeting, because it's really a simple answer. I keep my expenses low and I don't have children right now, but I felt like that was an oversimplification, because there are people who are crushing it with children, who have high expenses, but they are killing the game. They're going on more trips than I can. So I felt like, okay, I need to have a real answer, because that was not a real answer that I gave. That was just not a thought out answer at all. So it's the budgets, it's the expenses, it's the debt low, but it's also the stream. So I love Living Fearless's video. I'll link it up above. Check her video out, because she goes through her streams. And she also says in her video, hey, I'm not gonna get super specific because Uncle Sam might be watching. I'm not gonna, because Uncle Sam already, you know, me and him are fighting it out. We're dueling right now. Well, we're not fighting it out. He won the fight. I'm paying him the money. You know, family, people extended. People they hear streams and they might be like, I'm the stream outgoing. Put me in the expenses category. Put me in that last video. So I need to make sure those listening ears just believe what you want to believe. Believe that I make, $20 a year if you would like. I don't need anything to be thought of. Again, my income is going to certain buckets of my life and pillars of my life, but I do think it's helpful to be as transparent as I can be. So first, my first stream, that is always going to be a stream for me, is my 9-to-5 job. If you follow my channel, you know I work full-time. I'm not a full-time content creator at all. There are a lot of people who could do full-time content creating at my size. They do full-time content creating lower than my size in subscribers. They do it less than 100,000 of you guys, and they are full-time creators, and they're crushing that game. But I do have a 9-to-5 job. I love it. I love having a 9-to-5 job. My 9-to-5 job, I am a talent program manager. That is my title. What it could be compared to is a campus recruiting manager, a university relations manager is what they could call it. It's managing a program. So I manage our campus recruiting program. I run our program, meaning I do the logistics. I buy the swag. I ship it out. I assign teams to go to schools. I assign the engineers. I know what we're recruiting on. I like what I do. I love talent acquisition. Now, in terms of 9-to-5, that is a lot of people's streams. There's 9-to-5. A lot of you guys watching me, probably 95% of you guys, that's your mainstream, just like it's my mainstream. There might be 5% of people who don't have a 9-to-5. You know, you got that husband who does that. I love that. Or full-time influencers, anything like that could be watching me right now. But 95 are like me in the same boat, where 9-to-5 is our income stream. Salary.com, this is not sponsored by them. Salary.com, I want to bring this in because as a talent acquisition person, as a person who works in talent acquisition, it is statistically proven that women who look like me, Black women, are one of the lowest paid in their 9 to 5 out of any demographic. And one of the many reasons that is because we're not asking. And we're not asking. And we're not asking. And I can say from my own experience interviewing black women, black men, white men, Asian American men, Hispanic men, every race and every demographic that I've interviewed, I can go off of that statistic and say it is 100% true. Go to salary.com. Go to salary.com. This is not sponsored by them. Go to salary.com, put in your job title, and see where it comes up in the range. Now, I couldn't find my exact job title because a lot of companies call it something different, but I did find what a campus talent acquisition specialist is. That's typically at a company. This person could either do the logistics side or they could go actually on campus. I wouldn't say this is a step below me, but this is incorporated in what I do heavily. So this job, the 10% is $56,000, 25% is $64,000, 50% is $72,500, and then you get to $82,000 and $91,000. You need to make sure right now that your salary is at least hitting that 50% mark. If you're new to your career field, if you're new to what you do, maybe that doesn't apply to you. But right now, pause this video if you need to. Go to salary.com, type in exactly what you do, and make sure that you're hitting 50%. And if you're in the process of actively looking for jobs, make sure that wherever you're looking, if it's a lateral move or a step up, that whatever the new title is or the lateral title that you're moving into, that you're somewhere between that 50 to 75% if you know that job. If you know that job, you need to be in between that 50 and that 75%. Now, this is not going to be one size fits all. I know there are some jobs where the pay is the pay is the pay. If it's nonprofit, the pay is the pay. If it's government, public sector, it's going to be typically a standard breakdown. If it's a union facility, there's not going to be any wiggle room. If there's jobs like nursing and healthcare, you can't, go astronomically too high. There's a window that you typically have to stay in, like CNAs, LPNs, nurse practitioners, like nursing. But still, look and make sure that you're in that window. Most of the time, they keep you. Nursing is such a high demand job. They typically don't lowball you. They will not lowball you in that industry. If they are, do something about that. You should not be being lowballed as a nurse. But there are some fields in the private sector where you better be making what you need to be making. As a recruiter, I don't ask what your current salary is. I ex-nayed that as soon as I became a recruiter. I do not ask candidates what their current salary is when I'm interviewing them. White, black, man, woman, whatever the case may be, I don't ask their current salary because they might not be making what they should be making. I don't know if their company is lowballing them, so I'm not going to ask their current salary at all. No, I ask you what your desired salary is. I ask you, what do you want to make? What range do you want to be in? And I need you guys, if you're ever asked that question, to have that answer ready by going to salary.com. Glassdoor is an option too. I like Glassdoor as well. It's just a little bit harder to look into the range. Salary.com is one of the best, I say, and closest that I've seen have accuracy in terms of that compensation. You better be geared with that 50 to 75% answer. If you feel like you exceeded, and you're in a hot market in terms of where you live. So for example, if you're in New York or a metropolitan area, maybe you could push it to that 90% too. The San Francisco, those other areas. This is looking at a general population of the US. So this is taking in Hamilton, Ohio, and New York. So Hamilton, Ohio, the salary is going to be a lot different than New York City, where the cost of living is so much higher. So you might can push it out to what that 90 for this job. Again, it's at 91,000. I'd say probably in New York, a talent acquisition specialist needs to be making at least 91 just for that cost of living. But if you're in a normal cost of living area, you need to be looking at that 50 to 75%, and you need to tell that recruiter that answer. And a lot of times, women in general, I'm not even going to just say black women this time, women in general think, their thought process is, well, if I give them the 10 to 25% range, so the 56 to 64 for this job, I'm using this as an example again, just because I needed a simple example. They're saying, give me the 10 to 25 because I'm going to be the cheaper candidate. They're going to go with me because mine isn't going to be what everybody else is saying. Wrong. That doesn't work. I'm telling you right now, do not lowball yourself, because no other race is. And I'm getting passionate. That's why I needed to make this a part 2 video, because I knew with the 9 to 5 section of the income, I needed to get truly passionate, because for a lot of people watching me right now, I'm going to go into other streams, but for most people, their mainstream is their 9 to 5. But a lot of times people are not maximizing that 9 to 5, and it's their only stream. I'm telling you right now, maximize the heck out of that 9 to 5. Salary.com, again, I wish they would sponsor me. I don't think there will be a site to sponsor anybody, but they give you job descriptions. They give you industry knowledge. They can compare 2 jobs. So use the compare feature if you want to look at 2 different. So they might have like a talent acquisition specialist 1, 2, 3, or 4, a recruiter 1, 2, 3, or 4, a comp specialist 1, 2, 3, or 4. Look at that. Look at that. Please make sure you're maximizing your number 1 stream if 9 to 5 is your number 1 stream. People ask all the time, you gonna go full-time content creating for what? Just like Living Fearless. She probably makes more. I think she has said in the past, she makes more doing content creating than she does at her 9 to 5 job. And she shared her 9 to 5 salary. She makes a pretty good 9 to 5 salary in that video too. But she makes more content creating, but she ain't gonna leave that job. Honey, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Will not be. There's just things that come with your 9 to 5 job, like 401k with a 6% company match. Okay, the discipline that I would have to have, because going back into video 1, I would have to have a savings bucket for my retirement. I gotta have that built in. I have medical insurance. I got dental. I had to get a wisdom tooth taken out about 2-3 weeks ago. Cost me $25. Guys, I got that dental. Pay for a little bit of life. There are things that my 9 to 5 job give me on top of that stability. And you might be like, well, this could be alleviated if there was more salary transparency on the job description. Some states are moving towards that, where they'll put the ranges on their job descriptions. I think that is a great way to go. I'm all for that. But until we're at a time where that is actually the case, be armed with that information on the front end. And there's nothing wrong with asking what the range is during the interview. Now, if you want to ask before the recruiter asks you. One of my pet peeves is when I ask you, hey, what's your desired salary? And then the flip question is, what's the range? Because it's like, you didn't answer my question first. I'll answer your what's the range question, because I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to adjust my answer, but I'm an ethical recruiter. I'm going to say whatever the range was before your answer and post your answer. I can't say everybody is one of those. But if I ask your desired, you've done your salary.com research, and you said, I'm looking, go above 50%. Go above 50. I say stay between 50 to 75 if you really fully know the role. But why not go up and hit about a 60 and say my range would be somewhere between 75 and 82. I like a range that is at least less than 10,000, because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Because in my mind, you don't want to go too big. If you don't want to go, I want to make anywhere between 60,000 and 100,000. That's a range. A number could fall in there, but I want you to be extra clear about how much money you need to live your life, because this is your life. This is how much money you're going to need to pay for your expenses, pay for your child care, and to put money in your savings, going back to number 1 for your travel and lifestyle. It all circles back in, because you know how much money you desire. That's your desired salary to live the life that you desire. And I don't know if there's a number that is even high. I mean, I desire 1.5 million, but realistically, what I could accomplish in the market. So the next stream of income that brings in money for me is AdSense. AdSense. Those are the ads that play above my video and behind my video. I try not to put too many in the middle. I still want to have enough ads where it's, of course, lucrative to me, but at the same time, it's not an annoyance to my audience. That's not the only way that YouTubers make money. In fact, it's for a lot of YouTubers, their smallest stream is AdSense revenue. They make so much money elsewhere. For me, and again, I'm not giving specifics, but I'll give a general of how much I make each month on that. $2,000 to $3,500, so $3,500 monthly on AdSense revenue. I feel comfortable sharing that because I did show on my TikTok, like there was a TikTok video of me, because I made a response video to somebody saying that TikTok ad revenue is nothing like YouTube ad revenue, and I was letting it be known. This person, it was For Harriet here on YouTube. Her channel name is For Harriet. Her name is Kimberly on everything else. I think she even has a channel now where it's her real name, Kimberly. But she was talking about she's made this much money on YouTube in a month, and she's made $44 on TikTok with millions of views. Millions of views on TikTokers. TikTokers got millions of views, $44 in her whole time. That's not even just a month. I think she said it's a few months accumulated, millions of views. So right now, TikTokers. I think I'm saying that because I think Living Fearless said it in her videos, and I like that. I was like, TikTokers, because we're older. We're not the 18-year-old teeny boppers that are on TikTokers. But for the teeny boppers who are watching me and thinking they're going to start their platform on TikTok, it is a great way to start your platform, not a great way to monetize in the long run. I think YouTube reigns supreme in that space. Even if you want to grow on TikTok, but use it as an avenue to drive you somewhere else, to get you on one of these other streams that I'll talk about, because TikTok right now, AdSense is not the same as Google AdSense. YouTube is going to be that killer when it comes to the AdSense. It's going to destroy. It's got that long form content. YouTube wants people to stay on their platform longer. If I can talk long enough to get you to stay on that platform, that's great. TikTok, it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 7 seconds sometimes, and you might log off the app. Then it's like, well, you only kept them watching for 5 seconds. I can keep you watching for 10 minutes. YouTube is going to reward that, so therefore the ad revenue on YouTube is going to be far supreme than TikTok. I like TikTok. I love the app itself, and I'm trying to, get my little TikTok on a wee bit, but I'm keeping in mind that I'm using it as a driver to drive people back to here. It's not going to be my main. I'm not part of the partner program. I think you have to have 10,000 to be a partner on TikTok. I'm far from it. I'm like at 4,000 right now. I got a ways to go. But I know that even when I become one, knowing what Kimberly makes on TikTok, I don't have my hopes up. I shared what my revenue was for the last, I believe it was 28 days. And again, September, August wasn't a great upload month for me. I did all right, but it was $2,327. I said I wasn't going to get specifics, but since I shared it on another platform, that is what I made in the last 28 days on just AdSense, and that's the ads that appear. That's within the range of what I said. Not the best month that I've had, but it is at the lower end of what, if I don't put out that many videos. And I put out maybe 6 videos in that last month, so I understood what my AdSense was going to be, but it's nothing to scoff at. Again, income streams feed into other channels. No amount is anything to scoff at. There's big creators out there who are probably watching me right now who are scoffing at it. I was in a Clubhouse room with Peaches. I love Peaches. If you follow her on here, on TikTok, on everywhere, Peaches McIntyre. When Clubhouse was a thing, I had shared how much I made because it was about transparency, and she was like, girl, I make that in a day. It's a bad month for me if I don't bring in, at that point, she's bigger now, but at that point she brought in maybe 10 grand a month on AdSense alone. And I was like, yeah, but like, I'm not mad at it. And the reason I'm not mad at it is because, again, this is a part of a stream profile for me, and I give it, again, I only put out 6 videos. She puts out like 6 videos a day. I put maybe 6 out a month because this is not my full-time job. I'm happy about what I bring in at a part-time capacity. I work 9 to literally 5, Monday through Friday, doing something that is not Lia Lavon. And then I'm able to, from 5 to pretty late in the night, so I do work pretty late on the Lia Lavon stuff, and then I get to do and concentrate on something else. That amount could grow if I didn't do it part-time. If you do something double, if you do something, say 20 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, which I feel like I do YouTube a little bit more than 20 hours a week, but if that's how we're gonna put it, part-time, then doubling the amount that I make, then it could be full-time. But I do this at a part-time capacity, and I would love to be Peaches, because Peaches, I think at $10,000 a month at that point, I bet she makes like $20,000 a month on AdSense alone at this point, but she has multiple other streams. So I'll move on to my other stream after that, is affiliate links. Affiliate links have been doing actually pretty well for me very recently. Affiliate links for me, I think I put on here on average are about $1,800 to $2,700. And what affiliate links are, if I link something down below, you click it, it feels nothing from your side. On your side, it feels like you just click the link as you normally would. However, the retailer that you're clicking to go to is recognizing that, hey, that person brought you to our site. Let's give that little person a little something for bringing you here. Thank you for telling her about it. It's like a referral almost. Like you referred her, we'll give you a little bit on the compensation end. Of course, it's the click and a buy. So it's not anytime you click. So somebody might be like, if I just click your links, that'll be helpful. I love it. I can see clicks. On my chart where I can see things, I can see how many people click something. But then the clicks don't translate to monetary. It is actually buying something on the site. It doesn't have to be the click that led you to the site. It just has to be a purchase brought on by my transaction, or the going to the site via my transaction, if that makes sense. So 18 to 27, which isn't bad. Somebody said on TikTok, there was a video that was like passive income, 6 streams of passive income. And one person listed YouTube, and Josie, she is a content creator. She interjected, she stitched it right at that point. She said, YouTube? Passive income? Passive. Do you guys know what passive means? It means in your sleep. If you did nothing, that would accumulate income. That would mean passively, you doing absolutely nothing would bring in that. If I stopped doing YouTube tomorrow, I might still get a little bit of residuals from, past videos, but in a year from now, you have to continuously make things for it to be generating funds. And this is not passive at all. I agreed with her. I was like, in no way would I ever say YouTube is passive income. But I will say affiliate links is a little bit more passive. And what I mean is I link something once and it generates those funds for the future. And I'm not thinking about it once I link said thing. Once I link said thing, I am moving on. And it's generating somewhere between $1,800 and $2,700 each month for me. But I love that because I don't try to bring you foolishness. I don't try to bring you 15,000 Amazon must-buy videos every single month. I try to bring it to you once a quarter. I don't plan on doing another one until the holidays. Then I'll do one in the spring, summer, fall. So I don't try to bring you too much, but I am happy that when I do bring you stuff, you guys actually do on the flip side show interest and then purchase it. That's from my Amazon affiliates. So Amazon's probably the killers, the biggest one. Magic Links is something I'm a part of when I link something like from Sephora, Target, those types of things. And then I was watching Living Fearless's video, which is a great video. Again, it helped me. Watching it helped me not just gather thoughts for this video, but also as a content creator, because she talked about reward style. And I had heard about it, but I thought it was going to be a massively long application process and I was going to give up. Signed up for reward style in 2 seconds. I signed up for it in 2 seconds and now I'm a part of reward style. And I was so pissed because Etsy is a part of reward style. And Etsy is not part of Magic Links. So anytime I would link the photos on my wall, I've linked those so many times in so many videos where I just link it because you guys asked me, I bought these. I'm going to link it down below, bring you guys in. That is something I could have been using reward styles and linking down below. I'm just mad at myself because it does nothing. Again, I bought this with my own coin. I'm sharing this with you guys. It's not hurting you guys. It's not making the price more expensive. It's a normal shopping experience from your end. I just got a little something. So I have been probably hundreds that I could have probably made. I don't know how many of you guys have bought these photos or these type photos just because of me. I am so mad. So Reward Style is another affiliate marketing site. Her talking about Reward Style helped me, but you guys, in one of my videos that I did on Instagram, one of my reels, you were like, I can't remember who it was who specifically said it, but you said just make a storefront or something to the fact of you should be linking this instead of going through and just listing the name of the mirror. People asked where I got my mirror from and I was like, on Amazon. What's the name of it? So I was just linking the name of it and it does nothing. But somebody was like, girl, get you a storefront. Get you a storefront. So I just recently created a storefront. Now, again, the links have been working the way the links have been working, but I'll do a storefront if you guys. So I have an Amazon storefront now too, which I'm getting used to updating the storefront because I haven't ever utilized storefront. I've always just used individual links, but You guys help me in that case. I'm still growing as a content creator, even 6 years in the game. But Living Fearless, Alicia, her name is Alicia. I keep saying her channel name, but her name is Alicia. Alicia talked in her video that reward style has helped her get collaborations, which is, I think, one of her highest buckets. I think she said collaborations is probably her biggest stream from being a content creator, above the AdSense revenue, which again, I said is a low stream for a lot of creators. Affiliate links, collaborations. You can make thousands. You can make thousands. You guys just don't know the amount of money that's on the table for collaborations. It's not my biggest bucket. Actually, my smallest bucket. If we want to talk about it, I probably make less than $5,000 annually. I'm probably being generous with $5,000. There are people who make $3,000 a week on collaborations. HelloFresh. I bought HelloFresh with my money. If HelloFresh want to reach out to a girl and collaborate and pay me to talk about it, then they could. BetterHelp. I see a lot of BetterHelp collaborations that people do, which are typically on a residual basis. You could make thousands on doing that. What's another one? Audible. You see a lot of collaborations. I'm not even thinking about half of them probably right now, but there are a lot of brands who collaborate with content creators, big and small. There are brands that are clothing, there are brands that are hair care. If you watch Kimberly Sherrill, she does a lot of hair care reviews, paid sponsorships. You're talking about over $60,000 a year for content creators, probably, who are being adamant about it. I mean, that's only $5,000. I say only, but that's $5,000 a month for a lot of creators. There's money in collaborations. The reason I don't do it is simply because, one, I have 9 to 5, and sometimes they want things quickly. A lot of the collaborations I've been reached out to is they want it tomorrow, and it's like, no, boo-boo, I got other videos I gotta post. You can get that video up in October the 30th, and it's like, no, we need to run that tomorrow. Oh, I work, I ain't got time for that. And then 2, it's a lot of, I've gotten contracts before where they specifically say you cannot say anything bad about the product, and y'all know that does not go with my brand. Not being able to say anything bad, I'm gonna say something bad. I'm gonna bring it up. If it's not working, I can't be one of those people. Go check out HelloFresh. HelloFresh is the most, I'm going to tell y'all, that meal was nasty. If something was nasty, I'm going to tell you what's nasty. And they're not going to pay me for that. I can't hold my tongue. So I'm going to be burning some bridges, and the bridges will be burnt. I would love for there to be more brands who were open to allowing content creators to say whatever they wanted to say. But I don't think I can say whatever I want to say and expect to get paid $5,000 a month. But I will admit I could be doing better there in a content creating space. So if any other fellow content creators are watching me, they're probably scoffing because they know that's where the money is. If you're creating reels, if you're a blogger, like a traditional blog website, or if you do TikTok, you have to do sponsorships to make a coin. Those big 1 million plus followers TikTokers that you see, they can't do it without sponsorships because the money isn't there in the ads. They're not making millions in ads, but they are making millions sometimes. I think there was a video talking about the biggest creator. Can't remember his name right now. The biggest creator on TikTok, he charges $750,000 for a sponsorship. For a sponsored post, $750,000. The next stream is a little lower of a stream, but again, I'll take what I can take, honey. It's Reels. I've been part of the Reels program. I don't mind sharing that just because it's a lower stream. I make roughly $115 a month. These are the last few months for me. As you can see, it probably all rounds up to about $115 a month from that. And a lot of people say that they've left the monetization program for Reels because they feel like it suppresses their videos. They feel like they're not getting the views. I just feel like everything Instagram is suppressing now. So I haven't left the monetization program. I don't plan on leaving the monetization program. If I'm going to post and y'all going to hide and not show people my stuff either way, I might as well get paid for that. It's not like you don't have to see and others all the time on Instagram now. I think everybody, big and small, has to do the and others now. Because at first I thought it was just, smaller size creators changing it to the and others so people hide their likes now. I don't even post photos like I used to, but I might have one photo where I post just to show I didn't get the likes that I was getting a year ago. Instagram is dying when it comes to photos. They are trying to push reels, and if you're going to push reels, I'm going to get paid for creating these reels. So I don't know. I haven't tested it because I haven't taken myself out of monetization to see if my videos perform better. So I don't know if it's suppressing, but I won't find out because I'm going to get my $115 every month. That is some nails. That's some nails, okay? Streams. I'm Jason Pitts, frugal over here. Like I said in my first video, it's $115. I'm gonna put that in my pocket. And then the last stream that is gonna be a upcoming stream for me that I want to share more about in the future, but right now it is a emerging stream, is digital products. Now, I talked about on my Instagram that I do want to launch something, but I don't want to give too much details because I've learned that moving in silence, I actually accomplish my goals more than I do if I actually say them. I think for the last 2 years prior, I said, I'm going to take the PHR this year. I'm going to take the PHR this year. But right now, what's important for me is to get certification in HR because I feel like HR is the genre and the field that I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. So 2021, getting some more career certifications will definitely make me feel more proud. Getting the SHRM certification, getting PHR certification, didn't make an announcement like that this year, took it and passed. So I'm like, well, maybe if I don't say anything, I thought speaking things out loud keeps me a level of accountability to do it, but clearly in the past, it didn't give me a level of accountability to do it. So maybe not saying what the thing is will give me the accountability. But I will say, this is more than I've said before, it is in the digital product space, meaning it's not a course though. It's not a course. A lot of people say that's the biggest thing on TikTok to bring in that money is launch a digital product, make it be a course, make it be a course, make it be a course. I'm not doing no course, okay? Ain't gonna be no classes, ain't gonna be no course. It's gonna be a digital product. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I want to launch it by the end of this year. Very affordable product, probably thinking under $10 of a product. Not a product that everybody's gonna want or need, so it's not a product that everybody in my audience is gonna be like, oh, I was waiting for this, but it's something that I love and I want it to do. So that's another stream for a lot of people. The way these TikTokers be talking about these courses, that's $10,000 a month for them. I don't think what I plan on doing is gonna merge to that level, but I wanted to do something that could also fit into what I have going on in my life. So being a content creator, being a full-time job haver, a job that is campus recruiting that sometimes has its peak seasons where I will not be at my home and I will be away and I won't be able to focus on that thing. So having and being aware of myself to not stretch myself too thin. I'm okay with stretching myself as thin as I have now because it's just me, honey, and I'm trying to get on these flights. I'm trying to go back to, okay, in part one of this video, I'm trying to pour into that travel bucket, so I will stretch myself as thin as I need to, but future me does not always plan to stretch myself this thin. So that's why I'm launching at a smaller scale that it may not bring in $2,000, it might not even bring $500 a month, but it is a stream that I plan on adding into my bucket, and that's a stream I think that a lot of people could look into digital products, whatever that might be. Maybe it is a course for you. If you are a subject matter expert, that's what they always say, if you're a subject matter expert in something that you could teach a digital course on, go for it. It is not crochet hair. I got a comment on my vlog yesterday is, I see you creating some crochet hair. I see that being your thing. A lot of people see that being my thing. They see me creating a crochet hair, and I can tell you with everything I have going on right now, creating a product is not something that I want to do. A physical, having it demand, shipping it is not something that I feel comfortable doing right now with how thin I'm stretched. It's not possible. You are 24 hours in a day, but I do need to sleep. I do want to eat, and I do want to talk to people on the phone maybe once, not all the time. I'm not a big phone talker, but maybe FaceTime. Like, I want to have a life. I think people don't get what goes into making a hair. 9 times out of 10, you would have to be buying from overseas because I'm not a manufacturer. I work in manufacturing. We just built a $2.5 billion facility somewhere. Manufacturing is not cheap. I think people think that, oh yeah, you just get the equipment and start. Have you seen the videos of how synthetic hair is made? Even the black-owned businesses that are promoting here, you know they're getting their stuff probably from China. They're most definitely getting their stuff from China. So even if they're black-owned businesses, their supply, just like if you buy bundles from somebody, you like, I got a homegirl, she sell bundles, honey, black-owned business. You think she's cutting those bundles? She's going overseas and wholesaling and finding wholesalers to do it. That's what most people do. You go overseas, You buy it and then you kind of do it. That's what boutiques do. A lot of times, those favorite boutiques that I love so much, they're going overseas to stock their Black-owned business boutiques. Some are designers, which I love the designers. But some are buying from somewhere else. The amount that you have to go, buy, market, sell, go to these factories, see how they make it, see all of that. Maybe at best I would do a collaboration with a brand. I could see Rasta Free reaching out to me. They want to put the Leo curl out there. I could do a collaboration. I cannot distribute, sell, and market at the level that I am at right now. I couldn't. But that doesn't mean that I don't have other streams. I don't have to create crochet here. I have other ways that I could make money that could make me happy and I could be passionate about. So that is today's video. To funnel into part one, to funnel into the expenses, the debt, and the travel budget that I have to think about my streams. Both of these have to go hand in hand. People ask for my tips and tricks and all of that, and I can give them to you, but you have to make sure you're maximizing on the front end the income to supply that. So maximizing that salary, go to your boss, go make sure you're having this conversation, make sure you're well knowledgeable in the area that you're in. If you feel like you got to get out the industry that you're in and you're like, well, I looked at my salary and it's saying, you know, only $25,000 a year is the most I could ever make. I need to be making more. Get out that industry. By industry. I'm not an industry loyalist. I'm not saying you stay in any industry. If you need to get on up out of here, transition out. Get on up out of there, honey. I'm about movement, especially if you're younger. If you're somebody who's watching me in your 20s and you still got a lot of time, your 30s, 40s, 50s, everybody still got time. But whenever you're hearing me right now, transition on out. It's easier said than done. Sometimes it involves going back to school. It involves getting certification. It involves things. But to maximize that long-term return on investment, you gotta get out of it. Or if you plan on staying in it, you gotta get other streams. So it doesn't have to be YouTube. I know that's not everybody's bread and butter, putting themselves out there. They don't gotta be TikTok. But digital products is a space. Again, an emerging space that I'm learning more about. I'm watching the videos, I'm getting everything so that I'm knowledgeable in this space. But look for other things. People be saying vending machines are a thing. People say that I can be a side event planner. I can be a wedding planner on the side. I can start this business or that business, embroidery, make t-shirts, make jewelry. Living Fearless, Alicia, she sells jewelry on the side. She sells fedoras, beautiful fedoras. I gotta get me one of them fedoras because y'all, I'm looking at my hat wall right now. I could add to that hat wall with a fedora from Living Fearless. So yes, whatever that is, maximize those streams. I'm so about, again, maximizing those streams. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Maximize our streams so we can live our best lives. So I hope these two videos tied in together. If they didn't really answer your question, I'm sorry. If they over answered your question, yay! Give it a big thumbs up. Even if they didn't, still give it a big thumbs up. I talked for over an hour on both of these videos, so I hope it was helpful. Let me know down below if you have any questions that I probably didn't answer. Leave it down below. I'm happy to answer. Transparency is the name of the game with me. You're always going to get transparent whether you like it or not. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram at Lia Lavon 89 and watching those reels, so maybe I'll get to an average of $117 a month. Make sure you're following me on TikTok too, so eventually I can get my $44 because I want my $44 too, honey. That's a meal, right? Yeah, that's 2 DoorDashes probably. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bad girl make you wine to this, nah.